Number 9 in the Karaka Millions 3-year-old contest is La Dorada, a last start winner. And Brendan, I really feel with that win under the belt, the confidence is sky high. She's going to come here as her aggressive self that we know and we've seen last year.
Yeah, that's right, because off her first up run back in NZ, she was a little bit plain on the face of it, but boy, didn't she improve greatly out of that to win a Group 2 Levin Classic. She was able to settle beautifully, have that final shot at them and deliver. And of course she comes into this from 12 months ago winning the 2-year-old Karaka Million.
And then we get to the 10, Lola Palooza, blinkers off, visor blinkers on, placed at her past 2. She's always contested top 3-year-old company, and this race is no exception.
You look at her Gold Trail performance when she won here. It was on a soft 6 through the spring period. Just a little bit of help in the ground. It's really going to help her. She needs speed on because we know she's a natural back marker. She's got a barrier draw where they'll have to take their medicine early and then look for her to really roll into the race. She has that little flat spot at around about the 600, but if she picks up and rolls into it nicely, she could be one of those late closers out wide for Trifecta's first falls in same race multis.
He's the trainer of the moment, Stephen Marsh, and he's with Aidan Rodley now.
Yeah, we're walking down here and it's just like, oh, I want to take a step away because every eye's on you. Everyone's got their bow cocked ready to take a firing shot at your filly. Are you happy with the way it's all gone?
Really happy. I thought she settled great. She's paraded good. I was nervous last start. I thought we had her a bit vulnerable. I thought she parades beautiful today. Look, the track's playing great with the rain we've had. We obviously want a firm deck, but look, it's good. I think it's going to be, should suit all runners, and yeah, I can't fault her.
What was the conversation with Matthew Cartwright like?
Yeah, I just said, look, you know the filly, have confidence in her, help her out of the gates, put her right there, and then you got to do your thing. Ride her with confidence, don't panic, just be happy where she is, and hopefully you can both do the rest.
Yeah, obviously she is our pin-upper of this night. How cool would it be to be winning on this biggest stage of all?
Yeah, absolutely. It would mean a hell of a lot to me and the whole team. And hey, I just said to Dylan, I said, we're nervous, and I said this is why we do it. And look, let's just hope she remains unbeaten.
Thousands of people here holding their breaths. Let's hope that they can breathe a sigh of relief for you and your filly at the end of it.
Yeah, well, I just hope I'm still breathing afterwards. Cheers, Aidan.
Moments for Team Marsh. They'll be hoping that they can get the win with Well Written in this next. We'll get to the numbers. Brendan Popwell, as we come to you. You can't not put in Well Written, can you? Because she just picks herself on what she's done. But there is a little bit of value to be found in behind her.
Look, I think there is. One thing I took from her parade here, we've seen her a couple of times being a little bit fizzy, but she seemed to be, she was very good in the back parade ring. The most people she's probably come across since her 1,000 Guineas victory down at Riccarton, and there's a lot happening around here. So yes, got her on top. She is the obvious and the one that picks herself on her form. As I said though in the pre-parade, if there was one horse that can find a little chink in her arm, and if things don't pan out for her in the run, Affirmative Action just might be that horse that can be positive from the get-go, plant himself in a really good position near speed, and I thought he was the one for same race multis, Lollapalooza. And the other one is probably Romanoff, who did win the 2,000 Guineas, of course, 2 starts ago, and holding off Affirmative Action. He's a little bit forgotten about, and he's a horse that's won a Group 1. So we'll go 8 to beat 2, 10 and 1.
Thad Taylor will come to you for a market update, and I know Well Written's come out a couple of points, but there's a couple of double-figure horses that have been on the move too.
Yeah, there has. Just a couple of twists out on Well Written, but nothing to be concerned about from a betting perspective. I'd suggest $1.50 to $1.60. You see a hot runner on screen there, and it was what we may deem the second stringer for Tiaka, He Who Dares, but did chase home Well Written in that Auckland Guineas, 14 into $8.50. Well, Rada goes from 5 out to $6.50. Here's an outsider that we might not have mentioned, but is getting some support. Argo got as high as $41, works its way into 20, so it's halved its quote. Argo did look well in the parade, and War Princess has been 50 into 31, so specking a couple of roughies around Well Written. He Who Dares has been the mover and market mover, but War Princess and Argo at odds.
I reckon that War Princess one is map related too, because it's drawn in barrier number 1. We've seen that horse utilised by going forward and being put in a race, and I wonder if that support is just around her having a good barrier draw and planting somewhere near speed.
And potentially with He Who Dares too, who took the race by the scruff of the neck. How do you see it unfolding with those horses that are wanting to go forward? He Who Dares, potentially War Princess, as you mentioned, all have the ability to be able to put themselves even Well Written in the race.
Yeah, look, there's speed inside and out, and I think that's probably the key formula around this race, is that you've got a horse like Argo who's taken some support. You'd imagine that they'll want to pushover somewhere from a wider gate. You had Fat Cat initially, who's a late scratching out of this race, coming out this afternoon, was probably one of those other speed merchants from out wide, but I do feel as though even a horse like Fleeting Star will be a little bit more positive from a middle barrier draw also. But yeah, War Princess might be just one. If you're thinking about a first four, lob it in there from barrier number 1, can get the right run.
Every race provides a highlight on this wonderful 6-race program tonight. Nathan Rodley, as we come to you, atmosphere is electric. The horses are top quality. It's got it all.
There is just no room up in this grandstand. I've just come up here looking for connections, but most of the trainers just won't even try and get up here because it's just so packed, and they won't be able to get back down to their horses afterwards. The atmosphere is amazing. It's one of the most electric Karaka Million nights that I've been to, and this is one of the best fields that we could have absolutely hoped for. Everyone wanting Well Written. That's on the name that's on everyone's lips, but below her, all quality in this field.
Jane Ivel will come to you around at the start. I know Well Written can be a little bit cantankerous when it comes to her behaviour behind the barriers. How is she today?
Well, I think she's definitely the first one to touch on behind the gates, because you're right, she can get quite up and about, but again, really well managed. The barrier team comes straight over to her when she arrives, put her on a lead and sort of keep her to herself. She is up on her toes, but she hasn't got herself warm. She's not sweaty in behind her back legs. I think for her, this is a really good sign of the way that she's behaving. I think the race is hers for the taking based on what we've seen in the parade. She hasn't let herself down. I have gone with the 9 La Dorada on top. I liked her when she first came into the mounting yard. She was had a bit of a pep in her step. She was really up and about, really bright, ears pricked, and she's come down to the start really nicely. And again, she's just standing, taking it all in with the ears pricked, and I just think she looks like she's sort of in the right state of mind for a race like this.
She's aggressive, feisty, isn't she? La Dorada, and the confidence is sky high. Thad, quick market update from you, because I see Well Written is getting some late support. Yeah,
here's the pushback you want to see if you're a Well Written supporter or a fan of racing. Back into $1.55 off a high of $1.60. Won't start any higher. In fact, it'll be $1.50 any tick of the clock. A well-backed favourite, Well Written, and a solidly backed favourite late.
George Simon calling all of the action this evening. We'll come to you, George, for the 3-year-old Karaka Millions.
Yeah, one of the most anticipated races on the 6-race program, the TAB Karaka Millions 3-year-old. The favourite is Well Written. She has dominated the pre-race discussion at $1.50. And she was one of the earlier ones into her gate too, Well Written. She can be a bit cantankerous at the start, but she went in nice and early and she stands well. Romanov goes forward. Those famous Fletcher tartan colours, and the last one to come in is Fleeting Star. Good luck to the connections with runners in the TAB Karaka Millions 3-year-old. The tender now is Well Written. Gates are back, they're racing. She was first out, Well Written. Has no real desire to lead, though. He Who Dares does. Right there, La Dorada Fleeting Star. Has no real desire to lead, though. He Who Dares does. Right there, La Dorada Fleeting Star. And through along the inside is War Princess. A length and a half off them. Next is Romanov with Sweet Ice and Affirmative Action out deeper. Then came Argo from Chile out. Miss Ziggy is well back in the field with Lollapalooza and 2 lengths away. Now Not Never is last. They climb the rise, 1100 metres to go, and the pacemakers are Fleeting Star on the outside of He Who Dares. 2 lengths away, Argo moves to third, followed by La Dorada, War Princess, and then came on the outside Affirmative Action. Well Written, she's back midfield, 5 lengths off the leaders. A length away next is Sweet Ice, followed by Romanov, chilling out, then Lollapalooza, Miss Ziggy, and last of all is Now Not Never, 8 lengths off the leader. 700 metres to go in the TAB Karaka Millions 3-year-old, and the lamplighter is He Who Dares and the famous Tangerine, a neck in advance of Fleeting Star. Argo works forward out wider, then War Princess, Affirmative Action, Well Written. She's hemmed up in between runners from Sweet Ice as they turn for home. Out wider, chilling out further back Romanov, and then Lollapalooza, Now Not Never, and Miss Ziggy. Homeward bound, 300 to go. He Who Dares. Here comes Well Written out after him now. 2 lengths away, War Princess. Further back then we've got La Dorada. It's Well Written and He Who Dares, but Well Written, she burst away. Oh, have a look at New Zealand's next racing superstar, Well Written. She is a bestseller. She has absolutely bolted in. Second, He Who Dares, photos for third, La Dorada. Right there also was Chilling Out and War Princess. And then came Lollapalooza, Sweet Ice, followed by Romanov further back in the field. Then as they went across the line was Fleeting Star, Miss Ziggy, Argo, Affirmative Action, and Now Not Never. What a win, what a ride, and what a training feat by Stephen Marsh and Matt Cartwright. And she has absolutely bolted in. Well Written, the filly by Written Tycoon, purchased by Stephen Marsh and Dylan Johnson Bloodstock for $80,000 from Pride Hill Farm. Stephen Marsh, the trainer, and Matt Cartwright with a cool as ride. And she's done what everyone had anticipated. She's put on a performance here tonight. Well Written in the TOB Karaka Millions 3-year-old.
She was the horse we all came to see, and look what she has delivered. The handbrake went down and she took off. A dominant performance, unbeaten she remains, and she does it in such fine fashion. Jane Ivel will come to you with winning jockey Matt Cartwright.
We could see you over the line, how overjoyed you were. This was the horse most people came to watch race tonight, and she's not only delivered, but she's delivered in such great fashion.
The best horse I've ever ridden. This thing is an absolute weapon. It's so exciting. We got the right run. I got through, and wow, I nearly fell off the back of her.
I watched you out the barrier, and gee, she was fast out the gates, but you didn't want to lead, you took a sit.
Job was on today with her. She was very keen today, but I've always wanted to just ride her with a bit of cover. Every time I've ridden her, she drops her head, relaxes, just so she can show that good turn of foot. But wow, I think we've seen a very special win today. Easy Dale. But look, wow, I'm speechless, honestly. She's a very good horse. I think she's right up to it with Australia's best.
Yeah, well, you've summed it up perfectly. Go and enjoy it.
Thank you.
Relief on the face of Stephen Marsh, of Dylan Johnson, of Team Marsh as they celebrate, no doubt, with what a huge relief it is to have got the winner of the 3-year-old Karaka Millions. Well Written. She is just something, a sight to behold. Aidan Rodley will come to you with Stephen Marsh.
Stephen, we've just seen a performance of rare quality. Can you describe that one for us?
Yeah, everything went good early. We probably got a link further back than I thought, and then you just see her come up underneath Matt, and I just thought she paraded so much better today. I was a shade of green before last start, but I was relatively relaxed today, and she just it's you know, what have we just seen? We've seen something pretty special, and yeah, just absolutely over the moon.
Breathtaking performance from her. How good is she, Stephen? Can you put a nail on it?
Yeah, well look, people have sort of said, how good is she? Is she the best we've had? Well, look, I hope she just keeps continuing this way. She's, and I hope we are saying she's the best, but she's awesome. She's been unbelievable, and she just keeps on improving. So, very exciting.
It was a pretty cool ride from Matt. He went back and was quite happy to bide his time. Were you comfortable with the way things were panning out?
Yeah, one thing I always say to him is just don't panic. You know, if you get into a bit of trouble like that, just have faith in the horse and yourself, and it'll happen. If you're on a horse going good enough, it'll happen, and things did, and he didn't panic, and that's what I like about Matt. He just keeps doing the job.
For you, obviously the best you've trained, how does she make you feel?
Makes me feel bloody good, actually. You know, this is why we all do it. This helps us out of bed and go, and I love seeing the owners and that everyone's so excited, and you know, she's got a following, and she hasn't let them down yet.
Just won a $1.5 million race tonight. When will we see her next?
You'll see her, we'll just play around with her. You'll see her in the Kiwi, and you'll see us buying horses tomorrow, so anyone that needs a share, give us a call.
This is the best advertising point you can get. Congratulations.
Absolutely, thank you.
And it really sort of plays into the story around Stephen Marsh and his meteoric rise, and how he is one of the biggest stables in New Zealand, and Well Written is doing a great job of promoting his business. And here we go, watching her. There was some nervous moments. If you were Matt Cartwright, I think you were pretty anxious, but he was patient, and the gap came when needed. As you can see here, it gets pretty tight.
Yeah, look, really keen to try and watch that vision from the point of the bend where he had he had the options of what he wanted to do. Was he going to keep following out with that affirmative action who was on his outside, or would he wait? He played the patient game. He waited, and boy, when she went through that gap, didn't she explode? We've seen some unbelievable performances in this race, and Probabeel comes to mind, but she has gone all past what we've seen in this race so far with the wins of like Damas Rose and Orchestral and Prowess, and as I said, Probabeel going back to back in the 2 Karaka Millions. That was something exceptional with international eyes on our race meeting and our week. That was breathtaking.
Aidan Rodley, will come back to you. You've got strapper Ava Plimmer with you now.
Ava, how special is that for you?
Oh, words can't even describe it. She's just such an amazing filly, and she just gives it all every time.
Yeah. How was the celebrations at your end?
Oh, well, Ash and I are always jumping and screaming, so yeah, no, it's going to be a good night.
I know she's the apple of your eye, but just tell us a little bit about her. What's she like to deal with?
She's easy. Does her work nicely. She's just one of the stable favourites, so she's a lovely filly.
What does it make you feel like when you watch her produce a performance of that quality, probably one of the best we've seen in New Zealand in many a year?
Insane, really. Like, there's not many fillies like this out there. Yeah, she's just awesome.
Congratulations, Ava.
Thank you.
Ava Plimmer there working for Marsh Racing. Look at her celebrating this victory, and as they should, never in doubt. Well Written puts a gap on the rest of the field. That turn of foot, electric. Let's get you to Brittany Taylor. And Brittany, you've got Benji and Harry King, and they've played a huge part in Well Written's story right from the beginning when they purchased her.
They certainly did. They saw something in that little foal that no one else did. Benji, you have just stood here in absolute awe of her. What did you see in her from the start?
I mean, it's hard to really explain, but you know, you just go off the breeding and the type, and Harry here, he was very adamant that she was going to develop and grow into a nice filly, and let's be honest, Dad, where the farm, where she sort of resided and grew out, he's a very good man for growing out young fillies, and he's obviously proven that once again.
Harry, what were your earliest memories of this filly?
Look, it was obviously at a Melbourne-based sales complex there, and it was very cold during the middle of winter. Benji was busy, so he couldn't come over, but in terms of physicality, as Benji touched on there, we felt like there was a lot of development to come. She was a filly that had a great frame, good hocks, and one that looked very light on her feet, and of course we stand Written Tycoon, so that's another big plus for us, and we're a bit of a pedigree breeding buff family, and gee, she ticked all the boxes on the page, and physically she was there, then we thought we could do a little bit of a job, so geez, how good, sis.
Yeah, absolutely, and like we sort of got to back ourselves a bit, you know, we saw there was a great deal of improvement, and we could maybe give that to her, so you kind of got to back yourself in these moments, and that was just something that just paid off. It worked off well for us, and it sort of, yeah, I can't believe what's just happened, to be honest. It was a great thrill for both of us, really.
Very, very special. Well done on you guys for identifying her very early, and keep looking at her with so much pride. Well done.
That's freaky. Cheers. Thank you very much.
It really is the fairy tale story of the race, because she wasn't an expensive purchase. She wasn't the most beautiful horse when it came to a yearling, and obviously there are no rules. It doesn't matter how they look, they can deliver on the track, and for me it's just that acceleration. She's going to win the race, and then when Matt Cartwright really asks her, the turn of foot and acceleration she has is just exceptional.
It's on a dime. It's on a dime acceleration, isn't it, Thad? Because there were anxious moments, but Cartwright knows what he's also got under the bonnet here and how to play it out. And when she took off, that was really something quite exceptional and amazing. A New Zealand racing moment right there when she was able to deliver that.
She moved up at the 300-metre mark and hadn't gone for her yet. And I was like, oh, I think she's got it. I think she's got it. Matt Cartwright gave her one round the rear there, and off she went. She's $1.20 now, team, in an NZB Kiwi market, and I'm hearing from the traders they think that's actually overs at $1.20. Wow. What's going to be to maybe Belle Chevelle? The TAB offered an option for Well Written to win by two or more lengths. at $3. I'm waiting for the judge's call. I reckon it was around a length and a half she got them by their BP. So we don't know if we'll be paying out on that just yet. Look, Belchevel's in commission.
It doesn't look like a length and a half on the screen I'm looking at. Anyway.
Oh, well, hold all tickets. If you took the $3, it was an absolute gift. She's $1.20 in a Kiwi. Belchevel's the big improver off that. Obviously, we saw her today. She's at $8. And Planet Red is an Australian that runs in the Guineas races and hasn't been nominated yet. But what a performance. Backers well on side. And if you took that $3, congratulations to you.
Took the words right out of your mouth. You'd be speechless watching that win. Incredible by Well Written. One of the highlights of this evening so far.
Wow, that was absolutely incredible. I'm still in awe as to what we have just seen, and great to see all the owners there soaking it all up. Matt Cartwright getting with them as well. Absolutely brilliant. Well, one to come out of Ellerslie, not too far away. It is the Group 1 Railway, where the Aussies will try to upset